Today on PokeHQ, we have how to play Pokemon for absolute beginners. And by the end of this video, I promise you, you'll be on your way to be the very best that no one ever was. Whether you're brand new or just need a refresher, this video will walk you through everything. How a turn works, what the cards mean, and what a real game actually looks like. By the end of this, you'll know the basics and will be ready to face off against friend or foe any place, anytime. To really learn how to play the game, there's no substitute for playing an actual game, so I have my opponent here who can't hear a word I'm saying, and we're going to walk you through this step by step. There's two ways to win a game of Pokemon TCG. The first way is to knock out your opponent's Pokemon and take all 6 prize cards. The second way is arguably more devastating, and we'll cover that a little bit later at the video. Step 1, you must assemble a 60-card deck by either buying a pre-constructed battle deck, such as the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX League Battle Deck, ripping packs, or buying singles from your local card store, all of which are available right now at cardshq.com. Once you have a deck, give it a good shuffle. I already did it off camera, so we can move on from that step. Usually, you flip a coin to see who goes first. Whoever wins the flip gets to decide whether they go first or not. I'll call it. Heads. Oh, let's go. So I'm gonna choose to go first. Now, a quick layout of the board. This is your attack spot. This is your main Pokemon attacking. The 5 slots beneath it are your bench. These are your backup Pokemon. Your deck goes on your right with your discard pile right beneath that. Over here on your left, you have your 6 prize cards, which you'll be taking if you end up knocking out an opponent's Pokemon. Now place your deck in its spot on the board. It's time to draw your opening hand. You start by pulling 7 cards from your deck. Now, the first thing you're looking for is a basic Pokemon card. These are your fighters to start the game. Let's look at the anatomy of a Pokemon card real quick. Up top, you've got the name, like Bramblegast, and its HP, which is how much damage it could take before getting knocked out. Right next to its HP is the Pokemon's type, like Grass, Fire, or Water. This one's Psychic. In the top left corner, you can find the stage the Pokemon card is in, along with a photo to show the previous evolution required. In the middle, you'll find its attacks along with energy required to use them. So Psychic Sphere needs 1 Psychic Energy and 2 Colorless Energy. And finally, at the very bottom, you'll find its weakness, resistance, and retreat costs, which tell you how much energy you have to discard to pull them back from your active spot to your bench. Some Pokemon cards, such as EX cards, will have a rule box on the bottom right, which will tell you how many prize cards you can take when this Pokemon is knocked out. This Mega Skarmory EX, for example, states that when this Pokemon is knocked out, your opponent gets to take 3 prize cards instead of just the 1. If you draw a hand that doesn't have a basic Pokemon, don't worry. You can show your hand to your opponent to prove there's no basic Pokemon, then shuffle and draw another 7 cards. Each time you do this, your opponent gets to draw an extra card. So make sure you're running enough basic Pokemon in your deck. So I currently have 2 basic Pokemon in my hand, so I can choose which one I want to choose for the active spot, and I'm going to choose the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX since he's going to be my main attacker for this game. And we're going to place him in the active spot. Then we can place as many other basic Pokemon that we want on the bench. So I'm going to place my 1 other basic Pokemon, the Team Rocket's Tarantula, on my bench face down. After you set down basics and are ready to go, you and your opponent set down the top 6 cards from each of your decks face down in your prize card section. These are your prize cards and are the main goal for winning the game. Whenever you attack and knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon, you get to select one of your prize cards to add to your hand. You can potentially take multiple prize cards per turn, depending on abilities or Pokemon knocked out, such as Rule Box Pokemon. And remember, when you have no prize cards remaining, you win. Every turn follows the same flow. Draw a card, play what you can, attach 1 energy, then attack if you're able to. If you remember nothing else, remember this flow. Now, to begin the game, we're going to flip over our Pokemon to show which ones that we have on our bench and active slot. And the game begins. I'm going to start my turn by drawing a card. Energy cards are the one card that everybody skips through when opening a pack, but they're one of the most important parts of making any Pokemon deck actually function. You play 1 energy card to any one of your Pokemon once per turn, and Pokemon can have any number of different types of energy attached to them. So I'm going to attach my basic Psychic Energy to my Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX to start powering him up for the Ensure Ball attack. Now, you end your turn by hopefully using one of the attacks on your Pokemon, except for your first turn. So the person that's going first can attack on the very first turn, and they cannot play a supporter card. But otherwise, as long as you meet the energy requirements, you can choose any one of the attacks in your Pokemon's active position and do damage. Damage dealt to your Pokemon is kept track using damage counters, which often are official Pokemon Company damage dice or regular D6s. It's my first turn and I can't attack using any energy, so I'm going to just pass my turn to you. So my second turn, I'm gonna draw a card. And I drew Team Rocket's Mimikyu. Now this helps me a little bit because Team Rocket's Mewtwo has an ability called Power Saver. Now this ability, Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. So I need at least 3 on my bench and 1 in the active to be able to play any attacks. So Team Rocket's Mimikyu will be added to my bench to be able to play Ensure Ball at some point. This is a trainer card, which are items, supporters, tools, and stadiums that help your deck consistently achieve victory as fast as possible. Item cards are an expendable resource, cashing in after one use to generate a positive effect, or maybe provide a roadblock against your opponent. Supporter cards are powerful once per turn effects that swing the game heavily in your favor. You can play as many item cards as you want per turn, but supporters are strictly limited to 1 supporter per turn. Tool cards are items to attach to your Pokemon, upgrading their abilities or giving them more bonus effects that can squeeze just a bit more value towards an important knockout. Stadiums are static locations from Pokemon series that provide symmetrical effects to you and your opponent. Only 1 stadium can be in play at a time, and whenever someone plays a stadium, the current one in play gets removed and replaced. I'm going to play Team Rocket's Factory. Once during each player's turn, if they played a supporter card that has Team Rocket in its name from their hand, this turn, they may draw 2 cards. So I'm going to end up playing my Team Rocket's Transceiver, which is an item card, later on in my turn. So this stadium in play will help me draw a couple extra cards. I'm then going to play Team Rocket's Transceiver and look through my deck to find a supporter card. So I'm going to choose Team Rocket's Ariana. I get to draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. If all of your Pokemon in play are Team Rocket's Pokemon, I get to draw cards until I have 8 cards in my hand instead. And because I only have 3 Pokemon in play that are all Team Rocket, I'll be able to draw that extra couple cards. Every time you look at your deck, you have to shuffle your cards to make sure that you don't know the exact order and make sure that it's all randomized again. I'm then going to play Team Rocket's Ariana, the supporter card, to draw until I have 8 cards in my hand. So I'm going to draw an extra 5 cards. Now, that was a big draw for me, as I get to have Team Rocket's Energy. So special energy get to power up your Pokemon and have more effects than just your basic energy. Whereas your basic energy just has 1 energy attached that you know what type it is, special energy can provide a wide variation of either multiple energy or just different effects. Now for Team Rocket's Energy, this card can only be attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon. If this card is attached to anything other than a Team Rocket's Pokemon, you just discard this card. So it's really not worth it unless you're going to use it on a Team Rocket's Pokemon. And the extra effect of it is as long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 in any combination of Psychic Energy and Dark Energy. So because I need 3 energy for my Ensure Ball, with 2 being Psychic and 1 being colorless, I have 1 Psychic attached already. I'm going to use my Team Rocket's Energy for my energy attached this turn to be able to have 3 energy on my Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX to be able to potentially play Ensure Ball this turn. Now I don't have any other basic Pokemon, but because I used my Team Rocket's Ariana, I get to play my Team Rocket's Factory, which will allow me to draw 2 cards because I played a supporter card that had Team Rocket in its name. Now I was hoping to draw a Pokemon this turn. Unfortunately, I did not, but I do have an Ultra Ball. And this is an item that is very, very strong in the Pokemon TCG right now, as you can use this card to discard 2 other cards from your hand, search your deck for a Pokemon, you reveal it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. So I'm going to use my Ultra Ball and use Switch and a Grass Energy on my discard to be able to search for a Pokemon. Now, I can search for any Pokemon, but because I need a basic Pokemon in play right now, it makes sense that I can try to find a basic Pokemon, and I'm going to end up getting my Team Rocket's Zubat. I'm going to show it to my opponent, shuffle up my deck so that I don't know what cards I have where, put all of these in the discard pile, and then put this card in my hand. Now, Team Rocket's Zubat, I can play this turn, so I'm going to play it so that way I have 4 Pokemon in play and then attack this turn using Ensure Ball. So Ensure Ball has an extra couple steps. You may discard up to 2 energy from your benched Pokemon. This attack does 60 more damage for each card you discard in this way. So I don't have any current energy on my benched Pokemon, so I'm just going to swing for the 160 damage. And then pass my turn. All right, so for my third turn, again, I'm going to start by drawing a card, and we're going to get a Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. Now I'm going to place him on the bench because I can start powering him up with the other energy cards that I have in my hand. Just in case my Team Rocket's Mewtwo in my active spot gets knocked out, I have one that I can swap to immediately. So I'm going to start trying to power up my second Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. I'm going to do that by adding my Team Rocket's energy to my benched Mewtwo EX. Then I'm going to play Team Rocket's Giovanni. Team Rocket's Giovanni is a supporter card that I get to switch my active Team Rocket's Pokemon with one of your bench Team Rocket's Pokemon. If you do, I will switch one of my opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot as well. So I am going to swap my current Mewtwo EX for my other Mewtwo EX. And because I did this, I'm also going to swap his Magmar back to his Victini EX. Now, A-Specs are extremely powerful cards, so you're only allowed to play one A-Spec in your deck. Now, I have Scramble Switch, which switches your active Pokemon from one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, you may move any amount of energy from the Pokemon you move to your bench to the new active Pokemon. So I'm going to use Scramble Switch, which is an item card. I'm going to swap back my Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX and then put my other Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX back on the bench. Now, the reason why I did this is because I was able to play the Team Rocket's Giovanni. I currently have nothing in my hand, so I need to be able to draw more cards. And with Team Rocket's Factory, if I'm able to play a supporter that has Team Rocket in its name, which Team Rocket's Giovanni does, I'm able to draw an extra 2 cards per turn. So I'm going to be able to use my Team Rocket's Factory to draw an extra 2 cards. Now I was able to draw 2 Pokemon. The first one is Team Rocket's Zubat, which is another basic, and a Stage 1 Team Rocket's Spidops. During your turn, you can evolve as many Pokemon that have been in play for at least 1 full turn. A basic Pokemon can evolve into a Stage 1, a Stage 1 can evolve into a Stage 2. And if you're ever curious what stage your Pokemon is, or what Pokemon it evolves from, you can always check the top left corner where it will show you what stage and what Pokemon it can evolve from. We were able to get the Team Rocket Spidops, and Tarantula's been there since day 1, so we're going to be able to evolve him into Team Rocket's Spidops. Now, he has an ability called Charging Up. And the ability, once during your turn, you can attach a basic energy from the discard pile to this Pokemon. So I'm going to use Charging Up to go through my discard pile and attach a basic grass energy to Spidops. I will also play my Team Rocket Zubat just to have them on the bench and fill the bench up to the maximum of 5 that I can. Now, to end my turn, I'm going to use Ensure Ball again and swing for another 160 damage. Now, I do also have the ability that I can discard up to 2 energies from my bench Pokemon. Because Spidops has another energy, I am able to discard this back into the discard pile for an extra 60 damage. But because Victini EX only has 190 damage, and I already have 160, it doesn't make sense for me to apply an extra 60 damage when he's going to be knocked out in the basic turn already. So now I get to draw prize cards. Because Victini EX is a rule box Pokemon, the Pokemon EX rule is that whenever a Pokemon EX is knocked out, your opponent takes 2 prize cards. So instead of the 1 prize card that I'm normally going to be able to take, I'll be able to take 2. And I pass my turn. All right, back to my turn. I'm going to draw another card, and I get a switch card for an item. Now, I did get the Team Rocket's Golbat out of my prize cards, which is an important evolution in the Zubat line. Team Rocket's Golbat has an ability called Sneaky Bite. Whenever you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve to a stage 1 of your Pokemon during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So I'm going to use the Golbat to evolve my Zubat and use Sneaky Bite to put 20 damage counters onto Magmar. So I currently have no other abilities that I can use because I have no other basic energy in my discard pile. I am going to just attach a basic dark energy to my Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX to be able to power him up in case my active Pokemon gets knocked out. I have a second attacker ready to go. I don't have any other cards that I can play other than Switch, which really doesn't make sense to use right now. So I'm just going to swing with Ensure Ball for 160 damage. And because I knock him out, I get to take 1 more prize card. So he knows that I'll probably end up attacking his active Pokemon the next turn, and because he will be knocked out, he's going to start powering up his bench Pokemon to be able to potentially swing at me the next couple turns. So now that it's back to my turn, I'm going to draw another card, and I drew a basic Grass Energy. I can't really do much with it, so I'm just going to attach it to my Spidops just in case and have an extra potential damage counters to my Ensure Ball. Or worst case scenario, power up enough to where I can start using Rocket Rush on my Spidops. I don't really have anything else that I can play, so I'm just going to swing again for 160. And I get to take my 1 prize card. So I'm going to draw again for my turn, and I get a Team Rocket's Petrol, which is a supporter, which is something that I might be able to use this turn. Since there's really nothing else in my hand that I can use, my bench is full, so I can't use any more Tarantulas, and my energies and all my other item cards are kind of useless at the moment. Now, there's one thing that we didn't talk about at the beginning of the video, and that is another way that you can potentially win the game, and that is by decking out. If you ever start your turn and have 0 cards left in your deck to draw, you instantly lose the game and your opponent wins. So there are some decks that make you draw multiple cards, or just milling cards to be able to have you lose all your 60 cards to then deck out. Now I'm going to use Team Rocket's Petrol, which is the supporter, and I search my deck for a trainer card, reveal it, and then put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. and I'm going to take a Ultra Ball. So I'm going to reveal it, shuffle my deck again, put Petrol in the discard pile, and then put the Ultra Ball in my hand. Now I have a little bit more to play with. I can use Ultra Ball to get rid of my energy switch, which I don't think I'll need right now, and one Tarantula since I can't play him anyway. And I'm going to search my deck for the Team Rocket's Crobat EX. Now, Team Rocket's Crobat EX has a decent attack, but the main thing is just an extra ability, which is Biting Spree, kind of like Sneaky Bite on the Golbat. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may choose two of your opponent's Pokemon to put 2 damage counters on each of them. So I'm going to evolve my Team Rocket's Golbat into my Crobat EX and put 2 damage counters on the Fuecoco and the Magmortar. Because I used a supporter this turn, I'm going to use Team Rocket's Factory to draw an extra 2 cards to see if I can power up any other Pokemon. So I got a special energy, but I already attached an energy per turn and energy switch, which doesn't really do me anything for right now. I'm just going to attack with my Ensure Ball this turn. But I'm going to use the extra kind of added effect to it that I'm going to discard 1 energy from my bench Pokemon, which will be my Spidops. So I take 1 energy from him, and I'm going to do an additional 60 damage to Skelebridge for a total of 220 damage. And I will take my prize card. So he attacks for 170, which knocks out my Mewtwo EX. He gets to take 2 prize cards because it is a rule box Pokemon that you're able to take 2 prize cards from. And I have to choose which Pokemon I'm going to move to my active position, which will be my Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, so the second one, because we already powered him up. I will start my turn again by drawing a card, which I drew a basic Psychic Energy. I'll attach a basic Grass Energy to my Spidops. And because I'm able to use Charging Up, I can go through my deck again to find a basic energy and attach it to the Spidops, just in case I want to use a more powerful move with Ensure Ball. I can put my Team Rocket's Tarantula on the board, and at this point, there's really nothing else I need to do, so I will just attack using Ensure Ball and knock out the Magmortar to take my last prize card and win the game.
Absolutely cooked.
That's it. You're now officially a Pokemon trainer. You're on your way to being the very best that no one ever was. If you like this video and want to support the channel, visit cardshq.com to shop everything Pokemon, from singles, decks, supplies, and more. Thanks for watching. You know what button to hit below. We'll see you in the next video.